lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. It's funny that after 2 years of having this movie's file sitting on my computer, I finally sat down and watched it. That's how bad I tend to procrastinate on doing these videos.
Now let's see how it looks so far. The break time!
If you're new, you'll learn this very quickly. So, now that I've gone and finally seen Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo, what do I have to say on it? Well, it's a weird movie.
Then we chew it to produce a sticky resin thusly.
Why is it weird? Well, I'll tell you. In order of weird, the least weirdest thing about the movie is Elvira. Yes, the Elvira is in this movie. If you're younger than 30, you might not know of her. She's an old school horror movie hostess, as well as star of her own films and comics. It's not that odd because this isn't the first time she's appeared in the Scooby-Doo movies, though I think it's her first full appearance, at least as Elvira. There was that Lego Scooby-Doo movie where she shows up as Drella. See my review of that film if you're interested in that. She plays a bit of a mentor role to Daphne in Happy Halloween, more or less using her to carry her equipment, or even possibly be bait for the monsters. You'd think a celebrity cameo would distract from the movie's plot, but honestly, I enjoyed Elvira here. She's like Spider-Man, always quipping.
Wow, you're a regular Mary Sue!
But easier on the eyes. She and Daphne play really well off each other, especially with how zany Daphne is this go-around. More on that in a bit. Then you've got Scarecrow, one of many villains that Batman has to contend with in his series. You might know him more from the early Christian Bale Batman films, or maybe even that Gotham show. His whole shtick is basically fear toxin. He's here too, which is weird, but not too weird since the Scooby Gang have teamed up with Batman before, so it makes sense Crane would exist in the Scooby-Doo universe. He's honestly fantastic in this movie. Dwight Schultz, also voice of Dr. Animo in Ben 10, really sells the character's creepy presence. You'd think with Scooby not being all that serious a franchise, maybe he turned out to be a bit of a joke, but no, he's been done justice. And in a Scooby movie of all things. There's so many scenes that he outright steals in the movie, from cracking Velma's confidence, capturing him, to him not knowing about the jack-o'-lanterns, to this amazing scene.
There is no time for bravery! Run!
The writers absolutely nailed Scarecrow, something that not all Batman writers even managed to do. And the fact he wasn't just briefly in the prologue and gone again is also amazing. Next up in weird is Daphne. You all know Daphne. She's the gorgeous, ginger, sometimes genius fashionista of Mystery Incorporated. Contrary to what Velma's showrunners would have you believe, she's got character, and plenty of it. But this is probably the strangest iteration of Daphne there is. If you haven't watched Be Cool Scooby-Doo, that is. I remember hearing about this back when the movie first came out in 2020. Supposedly, one of the writers, or someone from Be Cool Scooby-Doo worked on the movie, and wrote Daphne more like her Be Cool version. Hence, explaining all the wacky as hell things she says and does in the movie. Like this.
This is what we do. Word.
Or even this.
We've always solved mysteries, and we always will. Nothing but net.
I'll say what I thought back then. I love Be Cool Scooby-Doo, but I'm not sold on Be Cool's version continuing past that iteration. It was a great twist on an already great character, but I'm still fond of classic Daphne too. And so it was definitely jarring to see regular Daphne act like Be Cool Daphne for over an hour. And weirdly, despite loving that version of the character, I found it to grind on my nerves a little. Maybe it's just the dissonance of seeing the classic design versus the Be Cool Scooby-Doo Daphne personality. That said, it was only irritating for a little bit. That's not to say it didn't stop being weird, but Daphne has plenty of brilliant moments throughout the film. Badass moments, cute moments, crazy moments like what even?
Wait, were you just trying to replace Elvira and take over her life?
She's done this before.
And whatever this scene was supposed to mean.
Have you ever done circus work? You know, like getting shot out of a cannon, wrestling a bear, breathing fire.
Not officially for a circus. No.
So, while it was weird, much like Be Cool Scooby-Doo itself, you eventually grow used to it and develop a fondness for this bizarre version. And also, not to perv out or anything, but there's the reveal that Daphne and Elvira swap clothes while driving, which means, well, I'll let you imagine that scene. So, what was the weirdest, take a shot for every use of the word weird in this video, moment in Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo for me? Fucking Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Why was he in this movie? The only thing I could think of was his show came back a few years ago, right? So maybe that's the relevance of his being in this movie? Or him having an episode in Guess Who? I don't know, but it was a strange choice. His role is essentially helping the gang out by giving them a new ride, delivering some science facts, and then he vanishes a little from the movie.
Hang on 1 second.
Wait, what? Mr. Nye?
They could have used anyone else for his character, and I think it still would have made more sense. But moving on, some standout moments of note is this little acknowledgement of Fred and Daphne's relationship.
My love!
No, Daphne made it out with Elvira. They're right up ahead.
Granted, they took that and made it a weird thing about the van, but us Fred-Daphne shippers take what we can get. And before I end off the video, there were a couple of other weird moments in the movie, but those turned out to just be references, like Fred ripping his shirt off and setting traps. A super bizarre scene that had me rolling my eyes until I learned it's referencing Predator. Or this line from Velma.
Mr. Nye, get us out of here! Ludicrous speed, engage!
That's referencing Spaceballs and Star Trek. To wrap up with some final thoughts on the movie, I think while certainly one of the oddest Scooby-Doo movies there's been, it somehow managed to take all those haphazard, random elements and turn it into something fun. Hell, it even wrapped up a running storyline from the past 3 films with the sheriff character in an almost unbelievable way. No, seriously, even for a Scooby-Doo fan, I found it very contrived. Glow sticks? Come on. But at least his storyline is over because he was really starting to annoy me. And I believe that's all I have to say on Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo. It was a fun movie, filled with weirdness, but it worked. But what about you? Did you see it back when it came out? Leave a comment below on what you liked or disliked about it. Oh, and the artist for the thumbnail? It's in the description, so please go and check them out on Twitter. They do fantastic art. And if you have a moment before you leave, I'm still raising funds to take my cat to the vet. If you can give anything, I would highly appreciate it, but you don't have to. Links to my Buy Me Coffee account or my merch shop are down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and take care.
I don't want to be you, silly. Just to look and think like you, but still have free will.